Drug abuse is a complex problem with devastating and lasting effects across the individual's lifespan. It strains families, it ravages our community, and threatens the well-being of our entire state. While opiates are still a cause for concern, recent trends on the use of methamphetamines, marijuana, and alcohol cannot be ignored. In this PowerPoint, we will be discussing the definition of drugs, what effects they have, and reduction strategies in place to ensure the decline of drug abuse. So what exactly are drugs? Drugs are any substance that have a physiological effect when ingested or otherwise introduced into the body. Drugs can be considered illegal and legal. While there are several types of drugs found throughout Texas, listed below are the top 6 common drugs that are abused in Texas. Alcohol is the #1 abused drug in Texas. Next we should list cocaine, cannabis, fentanyl, methamphetamine, and LSD. As stated previously, although these are not the only drugs throughout Texas, these are the most common abused. There are several short-term effects to think of when thinking of drug abuse. Trouble thinking is one of the most common effects of short-term drug abuse. Below that, you can see unusual dreams, dry mouth, muscle weakness, indigestion, constipation, mood swings, weight gain, problem thinking, dizziness, and headaches. While these are not the only short-term effects of drug use, they are the most common. Drug abuse is also known for several long-term effects on an individual. Stated below are 3 of the most common long-term effects one can see. Cancer, organ disease and failure, and mental illness are just a few of the long-term effects one would see from a drug abuse. As shown in the graph on this slide, incline and decline of specific drug abuse in Texas is shown. According to this graph, in 1992, cocaine and crack were the most common abused drug in Texas. While studies show in 2011 that cocaine abuse is rapidly declining, heroin, stimulants, and marijuana abuse is on the incline. So what are some reduction strategies that our criminal justice system in Texas can use to decrease the incline of drug abuse? The Texas criminal justice system is committed to reducing drug abuse not only to help the individual succeed in life, but also keep our community safe and decrease crime. According to the Texas Health and Human Services Department, there are 3 key goals and areas we need to improve in order to make this happen, and we are currently working on doing so. First, we must conduct more surveillance and conduct more data and analyze the effects of drug abuse. While several drugs have been researched, if we understood more about them, we could better communicate with society as to why these drugs have such a negative impact when abused. Next, we need to increase education on drug abuse. Not only do we need to educate our youth on drug abuse, but also medical professionals, public health staff, and the overall general public. It is my opinion that although some understand the tolls drug abuse takes on an individual, drug abuse is more so praised as a way of getting out of your own head and into the clouds, rather than the danger and effects of the consumption. Lastly, resource development is a reduction strategy in place. Creating helpful resources such as more rehabilitation programs and treatment therapy, we will help reduce one's individual desire to partake in drug abuse, thus helping decline the overall issue of drug abuse in Texas. Below are a list of resources I found extremely helpful when creating this presentation. If you do have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.